to go back, and if I was somebody who started at this level of body fat and who was skinny fat, man, I wanted to go from this person right here directly into this guy right here in one whole successful cut without, going through, without going from here to here and then stopping the cut and then going from here to here. One direct full cut from here to here. Here's what I would do. So what I would do is first, before getting into the tactics, I would first I would try to remove the old version of me, and go into create that new 2.0 version of me. I will do this by fixing my identity first, and therefore and fixing my mindset first for going on to the tactics. Why? Because you can have the best tactics in the world, but if your mindset is very poor, you're not gonna, it's gonna make your life way harder, and you're not gonna end up getting there because you got to understand to go from a transformation from this to this is not just about having the correct tactics. It's about becoming that man, becoming that 2.0, new 2.0 version of you that has new habits, not with old habits. The old habits such as, someone who binge eats, someone, who constantly eats processed foods, the guy who, you know, eats KFC every single day, the guy who that has a very poor mindset, who doesn't respect himself. Whereas this guy right here, it's the guy who respects himself, does his daily non-negotiables, says he's going to do something and he does it. That's what the new, etc. That's what the new 2.0 version of someone looks like. That's part of me becoming that new 2.0 version of you. And so we must remove the old version of you and create that new 2.0 version of you. The way to do this is to fix your mindset first. Make mindset shifts. And the moment you just start to, act like the guy who is already in shape, it's the moment your identity starts to naturally shift. You won't naturally start to view yourself as this person anymore. And you'll start to naturally view yourself as this guy right here, the guy who's already in shape. So, how do we do this? So, I think the best initial way to do this is to first look at your habits. What's making what's making you look like this person? What do you do on a day-to-day basis? Like, are you somebody that doesn't have a routine? Are you somebody that just wakes up and just flows through the motion and doesn't wake up for a specific purpose, doesn't wake up for a specific plan? They don't plan what they're gonna do. They don't know what they're gonna do when they wake up. They don't have they don't they have put what bad habits do you do that's making you get into shape? And once you figure out those bad habits, you wanna remove them by not like you don't want to just focus on removing them. You want to just focus on developing new habits, developing that new 2.0 version of you slowly. And then once you submit evidence every single day and you start to build those new habits slowly, that's when you'll start to slowly remove the old version of you. Your habits will slowly start to those bad habits will slowly start to naturally get removed. You won't naturally start to feel like doing these bad habits anymore. If you're someone that, let's say, and I think the best way to do it is to just, set yourself a routine, plan what you're gonna do when you wake up, and plan what you're gonna do for your 24-hour period. Are you gonna be instead of somebody, for example, just waking up and scrolling on their phone first thing in the morning? Instead, wake up, don't scroll for at least for the first hour of your day, and instead just go for like a morning walk. You know, slowly develop those habits. Start, maybe practicing getting 6K steps every single day, and then slowly start to go up by 8K, and then go to 10K. Don't go from like level 100 to from level 0 to level 100, because I promise you, if you try go from level 100 to level 100 straight away rapidly, you won't get there. You will just end up, it'll be very difficult for you. So start to develop new habits slowly, slowly. Start to practice more prepping, or like just start going to the gym twice a week instead of 3 days a week, and then once you build that habit of consistency, once you build that consistency of going to the gym twice a week, then you can up it to three, then maybe up it to four. Just depends on your schedule, innit? But minimum is well, to be fair, you can still make good progress by going to the gym twice a week. But if you're someone that really has the time to be doing an extra day, then why not do an extra day? Much better if you do it that way. But yeah, slowly start to build your habits because this will slowly start to change your identity if you slowly start to build new, better habits. And so brace yourself a routine. Like I said, wake up in the morning, do your morning steps for 4K, go outside, go on a walk, and then, maybe after that, you can, you know, have your first meal of a high protein, of like nutrient dense foods, do your work, or, whatever your hardest task is, do that first. Um, you know, maybe go to the gym, do your workout, and then, or, like do your cardio. Or, like you can practice also doing cardio 3 times a week at 20 minutes on an incline, and then up it to 5 days a week, and then up it to 7 days a week. So when it comes to going from here to here, I wouldn't recommend starting a fat loss phase straight away. I would, if I was this person, what I would do is I would spend 2 to 3 weeks of just, practicing developing my new habits of, getting 10K steps daily, going like not straight away, obviously, but you know, um, just practice getting your steps in, practice doing your cardio, um, just practice eating clean foods, and you know, practice following the routine that you set on a day-to-day basis. You know, oops, waking up at this time. But what I would do is, yeah, I would start to fix my sleep routine first because the moment I fix that, like everything else will just start to feel easier. Because I feel like the best way to not become addicted to those bad habits is to do the hard reset. And I think the best way to do your hard reset is to just fix your sleep routine. Because I can guarantee you, if you're someone that's in this shape right here, if you're out of shape, your routine is messed up, especially your sleeping routine. So fix that first, and then everything else will start to easily follow through because you already did a hard reset, you know, like you shocked your brain through that hard reset. So therefore, you're not going to really feel like doing those bad habits that you used to do right after you wake up late. So slowly fix the habits first for like 2 to 3 weeks. Practice eating at maintenance for 2 to 3 weeks, and then what you can do there is now you can start to focus on the tactics. So tactically, now what would I do to go from this person who's 35% body fat, 30 to 35% body fat, and is skinny fat to this guy? What I would do is, since you got a lot of body fat stored within you, what I would do is I would drop fairly aggressively, not too aggressive, just like I would drop 500 calories below maintenance, and then I would raise the deficit even further by doing 10K steps daily and 20 minutes of any non-impact cardio daily. And this can be Stairmaster, incline treadmill, cross bike, anything that's not impacting that. So, because we don't want to be doing any cardio that's going to massively impact our joints and put too much stress within our joints, especially when you get deep into the cut as well, because recovery starts to get worse. So it's very important that we do cardio that doesn't really impact our joints and puts too much stress within our joints. Then obviously we keep the food high, and we aim to lose like fairly, to be fair, 1 kg per week is a good rate, especially if you have that much body fat because you've got so much stored food within you. So you should see a nice drop off towards like the first few weeks. And then once you start to not hit 1 kg per week, then that's when you can increase the output by doing more steps, more cardio. But do not drop the food down because we want to keep food as high as possible. to maintain our gym floor performance. And that goes to the second point is we want to be strength training because if you're someone that's skinny fat, we don't want to just focus on, I wouldn't just focus on losing fat. I would focus on building muscle because because you got skinny arms. You may have a decent chest, but chest still looks skinny in certain areas. And so we want to focus on building some muscle tissue, and that's going to be very easy to do, especially when you've just started going into the gym. So I would focus on building muscle and losing fat at the same time. But since you've got a lot of fat stored within you, we can get most of it out the way like a bit more quicker, you know? So, and then obviously once you get deep into the cart and cardio starts to become very demanding, that's when you can drop the food down. So I will then start to drop calories down. And then, yeah, we always repeat this until we get to a good level of leanness of 10 to 12% body fat. But yeah, I'd recommend trying to go as close to 10% body fat as possible so that by the time you do your bulk and your reverse diet out, you would, you won't be as soft once you do the improvement phase. And when it comes to training, I would train anywhere between 3 to 5 days a week and ensuring that each muscle group gets trained twice a week. And we focus on progressing every single week or at least every single month. To be fair, you should be able to get stronger since you just started. Since I was, because before I started going gym, I kind of looked like this guy right here, and you're going to be experiencing new big gains, so it's going to be very easy for you to get stronger within the gym every single week. So therefore, we're going to focus on building muscle and not just losing fat. So that's basically like the entire tactical side on how I would go from this person right here to then this person right here. And obviously, you may need the outputs towards the end of the cut because cardio, you may experience soreness and stuff. So what I would do from there is if you're like 12% body fat or below, then that's when I'd want a high carb day. Or or what you can do is you can do like once you get towards the end of the cut and recovery starts to become rubbish and you start to experience soreness and fatigue starts to very hit you during the cardio, then that's when you can run a 2 day D output and you can run that every single week. Ideally, it's best to do it once you're like 15% body fat or below, since obviously your body doesn't really have that much fat to lose left. And so therefore, recovery will start to get, you know, much slower. Your body's gonna be more in survival mode. So very important to listen to your body. And if you do experience very high fatigue from cardio, especially physically as well, then that's when you can run the 2 day output. Um, but yeah, you're gonna run this for X amount of weeks until you get to this level condition right here. That's what I would do if I was somebody who started going to the gym with this much level of body fat and that's very skinny. So I'll ideally, aka skinny fit, to this person right here in one straight full cut, um, as well as plus obviously a 2 to 3 week prime maintenance phase, but obviously reverse dieting up 4 to 6 weeks. But yeah, that's my approach. So if you're someone that's just started within my level of, if you're someone that's starting to go to the gym and is trying to lose fat and looks like this person right here who's skinny fat with a high amount of body fat, then this is my approach. Then use this video to take my approach into going from this person right here to this person right here, tactically speaking. Yeah, and if you want me to help you do this for you, then comment down below in this video the phrase 10% body fat. And big announcement, the first two people who do that, they will get coached by me for free with no payment required. But yeah, anyways, comment down below the phrase 10% body fat and then I'll reach back to you. And yeah, we'll book a call and see if you're a great fit to be being coached by me. But if not, then the fact that you watched this video is good enough for me. Thanks for watching as always. I'll see you a lot in the next video.